Good morning, students. This is your science class, and today we will be going through fibers and fabrics. We are in chapter 3, clothes we wear. Yesterday we were talking about needs for clothes. So today these 4 points are again a repetition of yesterday only. So I'll just tell you. First point is cotton clothes protect us from the heat of the sun and help to keep us cool. So what happens is cotton clothes, when we wear cotton clothes, in summers you tend to sweat a lot, and these cotton clothes, they absorb the sweat and keep you cool. Next is raincoats. You use them in rainy season. Next is woolens. They protect us from They protect us from cold and help us keep warm. So woolen material, it traps the heat inside the body and it helps you to keep yourself warm. Now the last one is wearing full sleeve clothes. What does full sleeve clothes? They help you or they protect you from insect bites like mosquito. Next is fiber to fabric. How do you convert a fiber and make it into a fabric or a cloth material? Now, fiber to fabrics. All cloths are made up of fabrics. Fabrics is the material by which a cloth is made. Okay. Now, fabric is made up of tiny thin threads called yarn. If you look at your dress, the material, whatever dress you are wearing, it will have tiny thin threads and they are called yarn. How is this yarn made now? Yarn is made of many long and thin strands of fibers. I told you yesterday here, if you see, these are flax plants, and so after processing you get the fiber. This is the fiber. Okay, these are what? These are fibers, and each yarn is made up of many long and thin strands. So when these are joined together, it gives you a long yarn. Okay. Now, weaving or knitting yarn together forms a fabric. Here, these are the fibers here, and they have converted it into a yarn. Now, how will you convert this yarn into a cloth? By two processes. One is weaving, and the next one is knitting. If you see this here, this is called knitting. In this, only one yarn is used. A method by which a single yarn here, a single yarn is twisted into series of loops to make a cloth. So after knitting, you get a cloth here. Now the next one is weaving. How do you do weaving? If you see this here, it is a method by which cloth is made by crisscrossing threads together. Here there is a yellow thread and there is a white thread. So you crisscross the threads to make a cloth here. This is called weaving and this is called knitting. Okay. So all clothes are made up of fabrics. Now what fabric is made up of? Tiny thin threads called yarn, and yarn is made up of fibers. So first comes the fabric, then you go to yarn and then the fibers. Okay. Next is there are two types of fibers, natural fibers and synthetic fibers. So natural fibers, we obtain it from plants and animals. If you see, this is cotton, woolen, and this is silk, and this one is a cotton kurta. Next one, plant fibers. Two plant fibers they are talking about. One is cotton. Here this one is your cotton plant, and this is processed here. If you see in this pic, processed here, and then she's making it into a yarn here. These are, if you see here down, she has kept fibers of the cotton and then she'll be converting it into a yarn, long yarn. Now the next one here, this is a flax plant from which linen is made. Here they are processed and then these are the fibers. This will be then converted into yarn and then cloth is made. Next, animal fibers. One is woolen. We get wool and silk from animals. So wool here, it is taken from a sheep and then this will be processed into yarns and cloths will be made. Okay. Now, silkworm. Everybody knows, we have learnt about butterflies. Hai. First the caterpillar, eggs come, caterpillar comes from there and then it converts into a cocoon, and then from a cocoon a butterfly comes. The same process applied here in this silkworm also. The eggs, they hatch, and these silkworms, they are fed for some 40-42 days on leaves, and after this they form cocoon here. This is a cocoon, and if left here they will form the moth, silkworm. This is the moth here. So but what we do in a silk to produce silk is, in this stage when it is a cocoon, we are going to dip it into hot water and the worm dies there, and this outer portion is used to make silk or the silk yarn. Here if you see, this yarn is made up of this cocoon. Okay, this is how silk is made. Synthetic fibers. So what are synthetic fibers? These are fibers that are made by man and they are not found naturally. So fibers that are not found naturally and are made by man are called synthetic or man-made fibers. Examples are nylon and polyester. Here this one, these are nylon and polyester dresses. So this one here, it is a coat of a fireman which is made up of polyester or nylon, and this is a jacket. This is again a nylon. These fibers are actually very strong and they last for long. They are stretchable, waterproof, and wrinkle free. Okay, so that's it for today. Tomorrow we will be covering how to take care of clothes, and that's it for today. Thank you so much.